You've likely heard the rumors of new hot route trees in Madden 26 as it pertains to some of the beta. One of the routes that a lot of players are talking about is that the outside receivers are now getting a route known as the post sit pattern. But believe it or not, this is not a new route to the game. In fact, you guys can find this as a stock route in Madden 25, and it has a lot of utility for intermediate, deep, and even short level throws. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell, get out your pen and pad, and let's get after it. Now, before we get too deep into this here, now is a great time to remind you guys that we are running our Madden 26, College Football 26, and Combo pre-sale over on my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. The link is in the description, but make sure you guys take advantage of the best deal that I offer all year long. You guys can lock everything that I post for an individual game on the website for just $75. Now, if you guys were to go month to month at $9.95 per month, that is $120 a year. You guys can do the math. That is a big savings considering we drop content weekly in our vault with curated content specifically for you, focused on what the pros are doing. Those trends trickle down into head-to-head play. You're going to face it online. So you guys need to understand how it works and how to counter it. On top of that, you guys get all offensive and defensive game plans and members only Discord access where we have lab sessions, and new to the website this year, where we will be uploading our lab sessions the next day. So if you guys can't attend live, you can still check out what we covered and get your questions answered. And we're going to include meetings notes with all of those lab sessions. So that way you guys know exactly where in the video to go to get your questions answered. So make sure you guys take advantage of it. It is the best deal I offer all year long. Take advantage while time lasts. All right, so the post sit route. This is the route that the B receiver is on in this play right here. For those wondering, we are in the Seattle Seahawks offense. The formation we are in is known as the spread Y slot. And this play can be set up a number of different ways, but we're going to focus on how to get this route open at varying levels of the defense. Now, one of the things that we can do here to start is a simple vertical runoff of our slot receiver, and then some sort of flat stretching concept from the running back. Maybe you could use maybe a shallow cross from the backside that way you could throw a check down to Odunze as he crosses from the left side of the field to the right side. But the ideal setup for this is going to be able to throw this to the second level of the defense, or maybe even a little bit deeper. Now, with this, we can custom stem our post sit route as well. So you guys could take this up to, another 3 to 5 yards, and we'll talk about what you could do to make it, something that's a little bit better underneath as well. But when this ball is snapped, you will see that this route will sit underneath of both of those deep zones. And the value of that slot pull route is that it will pull not only the safety, but also the outside corner. So let's take a look at that in a top-down instant replay here. So our pull route in this concept is our slot receiver running the vertical push. You see here he pulls the safety in the cover 4, but also the outside corner. Because he's able to pull both of these guys, this allows our post sit route, which you see right here sitting down, to stay at that second level of the defense while we pull the underneath zones with our flat and our drag route. So this ends up being an easy throw underneath because of the efforts of both the underneath receivers pulling down zones and the seam pushing vertically, pulling back the deep zones. One thing that we've talked about before is that you could actually pull both of the safeties in a cover 4 defense with a short side or a wide side slot receiver. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run a completely different version of this concept, in which I'm going to run the tight end on a wheel, and I'm going to have this post sit route sit down underneath of the safety. The reason we run the wheel is so the short side outside corner can't hang on to the post route and sit on him. So we run the wheel to pull him back on the sideline, while watch how Odunze is going to pull both safeties. So when we snap this ball, what you're going to see is the Y receiver pulls both the safeties and the A receiver pulls the short side outside corner, opening up this concept to the short side of the field as well. So you don't necessarily have to run a streak with Cole Kmet on this play. In fact, if you wanted to, you could also go ahead and run Cole Kmet on an underneath route, and you could put the running back on the rail and run a very, very similar concept. So again, here, this allows us to go with a shallow cross or a Y cross concept, where we have the check down to Cole Kmet at any point, and then boom, you have this throw at that second level of the defense. Pretty easy for a completion. Now let's go ahead and talk about this route as a different route entirely. One of the things that you guys could do with this route, rather than stemming it up, is stemming it all the way down. And this turns the route into what we would call a snag or a spot route. This is great because this is a curl route that we can use to essentially break over the middle and then sit down underneath. And the cool part about this is that With this, we go to the horizontal stretch in the flat, and then I can throw this ball underneath in this spot in the defense. So we're pulling the flat zone out wide and then having a different route break inside, but then sit down where it doesn't quite reach the hook zones. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay on this. So in this example, we know that we're pulling the slot defender, but this player in the hook is the one that scares us. To occupy that hook defender, we send the running back down the seam. We could also have him run a Texas route to pull him a little bit further this direction. But you see right here that this opens up enough space for us to go 3-on-2 underneath. You see that we got that horizontal stretch that pulled the flat zone to the sideline. We have that inside running back route that pulls the hook zone over the middle. And then we throw the spot route or the stemmed down post sit route as if it's a snag. So this is a 2-in-1 pattern that allows you to flood underneath in these zones. Now, this is also extremely useful because we talk about the meta in Madden 25, and I assume this will be the starting point for Madden 26 for many players, and that is going to be a cover 4 switch stick loop blitz-based defense, which looks a lot like this. And what they'll do is they will set up a loop pressure, and this only has one hook in the middle of the field. Well, in this particular case, we can beat this very, very simply with a flat and then just a short in route, maybe stem it up a couple of yards so it just takes a little bit longer to break over the middle, so it's even more wide open. But then on the other side of the field here, we are just running a post sit route and we're stemming it down with a flat. This is a simple concept because they cannot be in two places at once. You see right here, if they go out here, we throw it over here. And that's an easy completion. Very, very easy to steal yards away from the defense here. Another utility for this is to run this as a corner sit route. We could go ahead and utilize this in certain splits, depending on your formation, by motioning your receiver across. In this case, it doesn't really allow us to, but if you have a formation that does, take a look at a lot of 2x2 formations that are spread, you can motion this all the way across to the other side and then run off the defense to the other sideline. So imagine that we were to transpose Moore's route to the left side of the field and it's running a corner and then sitting down. And of course, you also have the ability to make this route deeper. And so it sits down underneath at a deeper level, or shorter. So it sits down, underneath on that short side of the field. So again, you have this luxury. You could also use this as a route that just follows in behind on a shallow cross here on the short side of the field. So again, you see right here, in this case, we're making this guy have to go, and then we just spot up right here and pick up our yardage. So again, you could use this at a lot of different spots on the field. It's a really, really good route. Pretty underused, but next year with this potentially being a hot route, it's something you ought to take a look at. I'm gonna get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You guys have a fantastic weekend. We are getting so close to college football 26 in Madden 26 right around the corner. So subscribe to the channel, take a look at the pre-sale offers, and I'll yak at y'all on Monday. Y'all have a good weekend. Until then, this is Zan. Get lab and good luck.